There are rare decisions that reroute a life. Arnold discovered 5 rules that did exactly that: show up fully, obsess over your craft, protect your time, embrace small failure, and give what you have. These aren't rigid commands, but a philosophy that balances depth and play, seriousness and curiosity. Taken together, they create a practical way to live rigorous enough to produce results gentle enough to keep joy in the margins. Show up fully. Presence is the simplest form of respect for the work, for others, for yourself. Arnold learned that attention compounds. The small moments you choose to be present accumulate into a bedrock of competence and trust. Showing up sometimes means discomfort, staying late to finish a draft, listening when it's easier to look away, but discomfort is the currency that buys growth. Emotionally, presence asks humility. It asks you to accept imperfect beginnings and stay with them until they grow. Practically, this looks like single tasking, finishing the sentence someone starts, and turning the phone away during a focused stretch. Obsess over your craft, but let obsession be a tool, not a trap. Arnold's obsession was curiosity, disciplined by patience. He wanted to know his edges and then push them slowly. That meant long stretches of repetition, hours that look boring from the outside, and the humility to return to basics. Yet within that repetition lived play, testing, tinkering, and delight in small wins. A simple tactic he used was blocking an uninterrupted chunk of time for deep work and keeping a notebook of incremental improvements, tiny scaffolds that over months became mastery. Protect your time. Time is the only non-renewable currency you have. Arnold guarded it like a savings plan. Protecting time meant fewer meetings, clearer priorities, and margin for recovery. Saying no became his secret. Yes, no to distractions that fragment attention, yes to rest and people who matter. This rule is tender and ruthless. At once tender because it preserves space for relationships, and recovery ruthless because it forces choices. Practically try buffering your day with transition periods, picking 3 weekly priorities, and deleting tasks that don't increase value. Embrace small failure. Failure becomes progress when you design it to be cheap and informative. Arnold engineered experiments where mistakes were low stakes and lessons were immediate. That shift turned shame into curiosity. What did this attempt teach me? Philosophically, it mirrors the Stoic rehearsal of hardship. Practice small losses, so the big ones land with less shock. Practically run short experiments, debrief quickly, and iterate. Over time, those small missteps accumulate into a safety net, reducing fear and increasing agility. Give what you have. Generosity completes the loop between achievement and meaning. Arnold found that teaching, mentoring, or simply offering attention clarified his values and sharpened his thinking. Giving doesn't require grand gestures. Steady presence, honest feedback, or a brief practical tip are enough to anchor ambition and service. This rule balances seriousness with play. The work matters more when it serves others. When you give, effort becomes contribution, and contribution becomes joy. These 5 rules form a rhythm. Presence opens the door, craft builds the room, protected time furnishes its small failures, paint the walls, giving fills it with light. Try one rule for a week and notice what changes. Micro experiments teach more than distant plans. Small practice, small failure, small lesson, and then growth. Imagine living these rules until they stop feeling like rules and begin to feel like breathing. Arnold reached that point through repetition, stubbornness, and a willingness to find play inside discipline. This part examines how those rules translate into days, how balance looks when depth meets lightness, and how meaning grows when seriousness is tempered by curiosity. Start with tiny rituals. A slow cup of tea, without a phone, a 2-minute journal entry, a focused 25-minute sprint. These micro practices steady attention. Arnold used rituals as anchors, not cages. They reduce decision fatigue and free bandwidth for craft and play. Emotionally, they lower anxiety. Practically, they create fertile ground for creativity. Obsession softened by curiosity becomes a generous teacher. Arnold treated learning as the aim, not an ego metric. He alternated heavy focus days with playful experiment days, breaking big projects into small enjoyable tests. Laughter mattered. It turned repetition into practice rather than punishment, and it kept him willing to begin again. Protect time like a garden. Arnold planned in seasons growth, maintenance, and rest. He batched tasks, created no meeting blocks, and reserved time for recovery. Protecting time is humble. You accept limits and choose what matters most. The result is sustained energy, clearer priorities, and less reactive busyness. Small failures become a safety net when you frame them as experiments. Arnold ran low-stakes prototypes and quick workshops to learn fast. Each misstep revealed a flaw or a chance to pivot. That process converts fear into data. Philosophically, it echoes Stoic rehearsal practice: small losses, so the big ones hurt less. Practically run short experiments, debrief quickly, and adapt. Giving completes the loop. When Arnold taught, mentored, or simply listened, his own thinking sharpened. Generosity forced clarity and anchored ambition in service. Giving need not be grand, steady presence, honest feedback, a quick lesson, yet it keeps achievement human and joyful. How to begin: choose one rule and make it visible. Write it on a mirror, set a daily reminder, or tell a friend to hold you accountable. Track small wins and small failures and treat both as data. Be serious when the work demands it. Be playful when curiosity invites you. Treat play as research, not escape. Consider the Stoic idea of focusing on what's within your control. Arnold's rules are a practical translation. Presence is a choice, obsession is attention, chosen time is a boundary. You set small failures or experiments you design, and giving is a moral action you can perform daily. That frame reduces noise and returns agency to the small decisions that shape weeks and years. Arnold also preserved play intentionally. He scheduled a weekly curiosity hour to explore something unrelated, learning a short piano piece, trying a new recipe, or sketching a scene. These detours lubricated creativity and kept obsession from calcifying. Start small. Pick one rule for 7 days. Notice the friction, the tiny wins, the surprises. Keep a short log. Share one line in the comments what you tried and what changed. If you're stuck, ask a question. This space is for experiments. Pick the rule, try, tell us what happened. Join us.